In 2017, I had a gig at a warehouse facility as the outdoor security guard. Working at the main gate, the whole warehouse was fenced in with only two gates, a main one at the front and a smaller one at the back. I always joked the warehouse looked like a prison, and it was far away from the main areas of the city. This warehouse was a half-mile off the highway in the middle of a field. The job was straightforward. I'd sit in this tiny security box next to the main gate and ensure no one comes around. Sometimes employees would need to get in the middle of the night or late. Delivery would come through, but usually it would stay quiet overnight. I always had another security guard to talk to though, working at the back gate. I'll call him Corey just to remain anonymous. Me and Corey would radio back and forth all night, which helped the shifts go by quicker. Rarely did we ever actually see each other in person or need to go to the other posts outside of our small security boxes. Foot patrols were unnecessary because we had access to live camera feeds all around the perimeter of the warehouse complex. This happened on what I thought would be a normal, quiet night. I got into my booth at 10 p.m. the next hour. I spent checking people in and out of the warehouse and letting a couple late deliveries in, and from about 12 a.m. it was dead. No more people coming in or out. At some point, Corey radioed to me, "Hey, did you hear that just a minute ago? Sounded like someone screaming." I responded that I had no idea what he was talking about and was sure he was messing with me. "No, really. I swear I heard someone yelling around the side of the gate." I told him I knew nothing about it. His voice did seem more serious than usual though, maybe a little shaky even. I double-checked all the live feeds but didn't see anything. 15 minutes later, Corey got back on the radio, saying my name in an urgent voice. I picked it up and asked what he needed. There was a pause. Then he came back over the radio. "Do you see that?" And I looked around. It was very quiet outside, and just before I was going to respond, I saw what he was talking about. There was a light, like a flashlight, moving around in the field by the warehouse. It was way too far back and dark to see anything other than the light, though. Corey said he could see it on the live feed and asked if I had a better view since it was on my side. But neither of us could make out who it was out there or what they were doing. We monitored the light for a while, watching it move through the field until it reached a section that neither of us had a good view of. The cameras on that side didn't look out that much, and were basically just focused right up on the gate. After that, it was quiet for a good 45 minutes to an hour. The light never showed up again. It was just a little after 3 a.m. that the radio suddenly clicked on. But Corey didn't say anything, and after 5 seconds, it clicked off without him saying anything at all. I grabbed it and asked if he was good. No answer. "Corey, you there?" Still nothing. I was going to just shrug it off, but something in me felt different about this. I switched my monitors over to Corey's side, facing his security booth by the back gate. I didn't see him. He wasn't at his station. I waited for a few minutes before thinking about it too much, but after 10 minutes went by with no signs of him or responses on the radio, I started checking the backlogs on the security footage. I rolled them back to 15 minutes ago, about when my radio had suddenly clicked on. My eyes widened and I leaned in. Just a few minutes after 3 a.m., Corey randomly left his station. He stepped out and up to the exit door next to the gate. He unlocked and opened it, then walked outside of the warehouse complex and into the field. I saw him take out his radio and just stand there for a second before putting it back, and then he was gone. He walked into the dark, and after scrubbing through all the footage, I didn't see him coming back. I quickly hurried out of my booth and started making my way to the back gate. I wasn't technically supposed to leave my station for any means, but I was genuinely worried. And yeah, I probably should have called the cops or let someone know, but I was really hoping this was nothing and Corey would meet me back at his station with some crazy, stupid excuse for everything. Not to mention calling the cops on shift, which we've had to do before, is a huge headache. Tons of paperwork and nonsense company stuff to go through, even if it ends up being nothing. I got to the back gate and Corey still wasn't there. So I unlocked the exit door and looked out into the field. Almost right away, my radio clicked on again, but no voice or even sounds came through. I called out to him on the radio and just yelling out into the field, but he didn't answer. After a whole minute of yelling out into this dark void of a field in front of me, a light suddenly appeared in the distance, the same one I'd seen out by my gate earlier. I took a few steps closer, trying to get a better look. The light was moving, going further out toward where the tree line starts, way back behind the field. I almost started to run toward it before I stopped myself, realizing this was crazy and getting this extremely disturbing. unsettling feeling in my gut. I stood and thought about what to do for a moment, then hurried back to Corey's station and called for help. It felt almost defeating, like by calling somehow everything felt more real now. As I waited, I watched the lights get dimmer as it continued to the back of the field and eventually faded out. Corey was still nowhere to be seen. Police got there and the company ran a huge investigation and a search effort to find Corey, but he never showed up. The leading theory, at least for the company and the police station, is he was curious about the light and left his station to get a closer look or confront the person out there, only for something really horrible to happen. But to me it makes no sense. No way he would leave his station like that and walk all the way out there. And definitely not without telling me first. Not just because there was a light in the field. He had to have seen something else. And what's scary is it very well could have been me in his position. Whatever the hell really happened that night that ultimately led to Corey's disappearance could have happened to me. And in that case, I likely wouldn't be around to write this.